We know that there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment.
Let's take an early look at the fatal crash involving a Learjet 55 that tragically occurred on Friday, January 31st in Philadelphia. This aircraft, a Learjet 55, was on a Medevac mission, having just departed Northeast Philadelphia Airport. Its planned route included a fuel stop in Springfield, Missouri, before continuing to its final destination at Tijuana International Airport. The flight had 6 souls on board, all of whom perished in the accident. Tragically, the crash also claimed the life of 1 individual on the ground and caused injuries to 22 others. This devastating event happened just 2 days after another tragic aviation accident: a mid-air collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines CRJ-700 near Washington National Airport. Our deepest condolences go out to the families and loved ones affected by these 2 heartbreaking tragedies. Several videos have surfaced showing the Learjet 55's final moments before impact. The footage reveals the aircraft descending at an almost vertical angle, emerging from the cloud layer. The aircraft's lights were visible, and the engines appeared to be operating at high power. Importantly, none of the available footage shows any signs of smoke or fire trailing the jet, which may provide insight into the factors contributing to the crash. The Learjet 55 in question was registered in Mexico and flown by a Mexican crew. It was operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance. Northeast Philadelphia Airport is a high-traffic general aviation airport, ranking as the 4th busiest in Pennsylvania. The airport sits beneath the controlled airspace of Philadelphia International Airport. Departing from runway 24, the aircraft's flight path extended directly over a densely populated urban area, as depicted in sectional charts. Weather conditions at the time of the accident were IFR, Instrument Flight Rules, with 6 miles of visibility, light rain, and an overcast ceiling at 400 feet. According to meter data retrieved 50 minutes post-crash via ForeFlight, the overcast layer had lifted slightly to 700 feet, with a temperature and dew point both at 10 degrees Celsius. We consulted several experienced Learjet 55 pilots regarding the weather conditions at the time of departure. None of them considered the reported conditions severe enough to warrant canceling the flight solely due to weather concerns. At the time of departure, there were active air mets for the Philadelphia region. One advisory warned of low-level wind shear, valid from 2045Z, approximately 2 hours before the Learjet's departure. This air met indicated potential airspeed fluctuations of 20 knots or more below 2,000 feet. Another graphic air met for IFR conditions was in effect, predicting ceilings below 1,000 feet and visibility of 3 miles, though recorded conditions at the time were slightly better. Flight tracking data from ADSB Exchange shows that the aircraft was cleared for takeoff by Northeast Philadelphia Tower at 6:05 p.m. The instructed departure procedure required a right turn to a heading of 290 degrees. Initially, the aircraft complied, but shortly thereafter, something caused it to veer left and enter a rapid descent that led to the fatal impact. Analyzing the recorded flight data, the aircraft reached a peak altitude of 1,650 feet and a top climbing speed of 222 knots before beginning its descent. ATC audio recordings from the flight indicate a routine departure with no apparent distress signals from the crew.
Medevac, mid-service 056, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, mid-service 056, affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
The last recorded transmission from the pilot was,
We're 609 Foxtrot. I'm sure you copied that, but for right now, we're gonna call the field closed. We'll try to get you out here when we can. If we can't, we'll have to take you over to Atlantic. But stand by for now.
The pilot's tone appeared calm and normal, showing no signs of stress or alarm. Additional video evidence shows the aircraft's exterior lights illuminated and the engines operating at high power as it plummeted through the clouds and crashed. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, will conduct an exhaustive investigation to determine the probable cause, which could take 18 months to 2 years to complete. Investigators will focus on several key factors, including mechanical failures, weather conditions, and potential human error. One major point of interest is the possibility of weather-induced loss of control. Could the aircraft have been affected by low-level wind shear, which might have induced instability? Pilots we consulted indicated that a 20-knot wind shear could result in a turbulent ride, but is unlikely to directly cause a catastrophic loss of control, especially given that the aircraft was climbing and accelerating above 200 knots. Another avenue of investigation is the possibility of a system failure. Common post-takeoff procedures for a Learjet 55 include retracting the landing gear, raising the flaps, and engaging the yaw damper. Autopilot engagement typically occurs above 10,000 feet, but this varies among pilots. If a system malfunction occurred at a critical moment, such as during the turn to 290 degrees, it could have contributed to the aircraft's sudden descent. Alternatively, spatial disorientation is another possibility. Given the IFR conditions, the pilots were flying through cloud cover almost immediately after takeoff. If they lost situational awareness while performing standard post-takeoff procedures, it could have led to unintentional control inputs. This possibility becomes even more concerning if an instrument failure or unexpected system anomaly was present at the time. Statistical data shows that 42% of all fatal general aviation accidents are due to loss of control in flight. Meanwhile, 5% are attributed to system component failures unrelated to the power plant. Based on current evidence, the engines appeared operational until impact, so a non-power plant system failure remains a potential contributing factor. While it is far too early to pinpoint the exact cause of this accident, pilots can take away several early lessons to enhance flight safety. Firstly, conducting a thorough pre-flight inspection remains one of the most critical safeguards against unexpected in-flight emergencies. Secondly, pilots must always have contingency plans for worst-case scenarios. During takeoff and initial climb, critical phases of flight, having a mental plan in place can make a life-or-death difference in responding to system failures or emergency situations. Thirdly, minimizing distractions immediately after takeoff in IFR conditions is essential. Pilots should focus on maintaining positive control, monitoring attitude and airspeed, and deferring unnecessary tasks until safely established in a stable climb. Lastly, effective cockpit resource management, CRM, and communication between pilots are invaluable, particularly in high-stress situations. A well-coordinated response between crew members can significantly improve situational awareness and decision-making during emergencies. There is still much to uncover about the events leading to this tragic crash. The aviation community will be watching closely as the NTSB's investigation progresses, hoping to learn valuable lessons that can prevent similar tragedies in the future. We extend our deepest sympathies to the victims and their families, and will continue following this case as more details emerge.